everybody, Work here, and we are back with some more Jackbox news. Earlier this week, Chilled Chaos got to stream some of TIMEJINX, the new trivia game coming to Jackbox Party Pack 10. Now, this is a game we haven't actually gotten to see at all until this point. We got a little bit of a blurb, a little blog post earlier, but we got a full blowout of TIMEJINX, and it is looking great. I love Jackbox's trivia games, and this one looks really fun. There's just so much game here. Let's check out TIMEJINX. Let's look at sort of how the game plays, and yeah, let's check it out. Here we go. All right, so here we go for TIMEJINX's round one. In this game, we start by giving players a historical event, and it asks which year that event landed on. So you're gonna get a little bit of a range of years that this could take place in, and you need to figure out which year this historical event happened. If you're right on the money, you get 0 points, and for every year off you are, you get 1 additional point. Now, this game is the low points win. You want to get as little points as possible to win this. So getting right on the money gives you 0, and every year thereafter gives you 1 extra point. So that's the first half of round one, and we're actually going to see this style of question throughout all the rounds. This style of question happens quite a bit, where it gives you an event and you need to type in the year you think happened. There's no multiple choice here. You have to actually type it in what you think, but there is a little bit of a range that it gives you to sort of let you zero in on the correct answer. So that's the first half of round one. The second half of round one is called the time hop. Now, this one seems a little interesting. It talks about how you want to blend in with your fellow players, almost as though you don't need to get the answer right, but you need to get the answer that most players select. I'm not sure if that's actually the way it works, but it's the way it looks like, and that's sort of how the players were playing it over there on Chilled Chaos's stream. So you're given a historical event and a multiple choice question, and you need to select the one that the majority of players selected, it seems like. And that's round one. So very interesting. A couple of different types of games. That's one of the cool things about TIMEJINX, is that there's so many different little games that you play. Very exciting. So let's go over to round two, and round two starts the same as round one. It's going to give you a historical date, and you need to, or a historical event, and you need to type in the date that occurred, the same as the first half of round one. But the second half of round two is a new game called Time Loop, where players answer 2 questions twice in a row, and players get to decide if they want to stick with their first answer or if they want to switch things up. So the way Time Loop works is it gives players a multiple choice question with 4 answers to choose from. After players select their answers on the first run through, players are once again given the same questions, only this time the game tells you what the first place player selected. Now, do you believe that the first place player knows what they're talking about with this brand new question? Well, you can change your answer here to their answer. You could stick with your own. You could pick something completely new. This is a really cool one. I really like the way this game works here. I like the idea of being able to see what first place is doing and see if maybe you want to do that or if you think they're wrong, but that's super fun. I really like the time loop game. And that is it for round two. Now we're moving over to round three, and it starts off by giving the players who are currently not in first place, I think it's like the bottom half of players, it seems like. It gives them an advantage by giving them hints to the questions from their future selves. I'm not exactly sure what these hints are. It's obviously not yourself giving them, because the players get these clues, and they seem like they're helpful sometimes it seems like it actually throws them off. But so you're given clues from your future selves. Anyway, the first half of round 3 is going to work the same as the first half of round 1 and 2, where you're given a historical event, and you are given a range of years it could have occurred, and you need to type in the correct year, the same as the first half from rounds 1 and 2. So the second half of round 3, although it's not really a half, I think round 3 has like 3 or 4 different games in it. So the second part of round 3 involves a single 50-50 question. You're given one event, but they have 2 different sets of details, and you need to figure out which of the 2 is the correct one. In this question that we see here, it's Marie Antoinette, and you need to figure out where she did some stuff. Yeah, that's that one question. And then we go back to the next question, which is basically the same as the first part of each round, where you're given a date and a range of years, and you need to type in what you think. So after this, you're gonna go back and do another date selecting question, the same from the first half of round 1 and round 2 and round 3. You're gonna be selecting a date, only this time your future self is giving you hints if you were one of the lower or higher scoring players, because you want to go lower. If you're one of the players that isn't in the lead, you're going to be getting a hint that will help you here. We get an interesting thing here. We're kind of given, Chilled Chaos kind of goes into their clue that they're given here. It's a question about edible underwear. You need to determine what year that happened, but Chilled says they got a pretty nice clue, and their clue is that it was right after the Beatles broke up. So we get sort of an idea of what those clues from the future are gonna look like here. Pretty neat. But that is that's the first 3 parts of round 3, and the final part of round 3 ends with a game called Time Fix, where players are given a historical event with an incorrect answer and are required to fix the answer to be correct. So it's a 3-part multiple choice question. You're given an event, and it already has an incorrect answer written inside of it. You need to pick the correct answer to replace that, which is pretty neat. I really like all the different kinds of games that are in here, different types of games. It feels very full, very cool. I love the variety. But that was round 3, and we will end TIMEJINX with one final task here. It asks players to travel to the future to answer a question about a future historical event that has not yet happened, but the game is going to give you clues as to what the correct answer will be. So for example, the question here asks players to travel to a year the ABBA holograms release a new album 1,000 years after the original band's debut. So it's a question about the future, but I mean, it's basically a question about when did ABBA debut here. The final answer will kind of differ. As opposed to giving players points, it actually subtracts points by a percentage. So if you get it right on the money for this final question, you're gonna get 50% of your points subtracted, and as you get further away, you'll get less and less points subtracted. We saw one player get pretty far away, and they still got 5% of their points subtracted. But yeah, that is TIMEJINX. It looks super cool. I love the freaking art. It looks so great. The player avatars are awesome. I'm super excited to play TIMEJINX. I think TIMEJINX and Dodo Re Mi are my 2 most hyped games, and after watching TIMEJINX, I really want to play it for myself. Looks like a whole lot of fun. But what do y'all think about TIMEJINX? Did I miss something that y'all saw? Is there Is there some cool stuff there that you want to talk about that I just didn't? And yeah, what's your thoughts on pack 10 now that we've got these deep dives into all the games here, except for Dota Remy? We still haven't gotten a deep dive into that. I want to see it. I mean, we got a big blog post about it, but we haven't seen anybody play it just yet. But anyway, here was TIMEJINX. What do you think about it? And yeah, what are you excited for in pack 10 coming out hopefully in a couple of months here? But anyway, that was it for me, y'all. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time we got some more Jackbox news. Later.